Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. And if you are new to my channel, my name is Ash the OT. I am a pediatric occupational therapist and I generally provide strategies and tools in order to help with the early stages of child development. However, in today's video, I wanted to talk specifically to my fellow pediatric OTs, or maybe you're even a student who's interested in becoming an occupational therapist, and even more specifically, an OT student who wants to get into the field of peds. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you 7 different things that they don't teach you in OT school. So here I am in OT school, learning all the knowledge, learning all the different body positions, the different anatomy, learning about all the different diagnoses and the assessments and everything that comes along with being an OT. And then I get out into the real world and I'm like, what the heck now? What do I do? So first thing that they don't tell you is that it's perfectly normal if you get out into the real world and you have no idea, or you feel like you have no idea on what you're doing. I'm here to tell you, don't beat yourself up about it. We have all been there. Especially if you are a pediatric OT, you're gonna run into so many different little kiddos, so many different kiddos with different diagnoses, and some of them present with the same exact diagnosis, but completely different personalities. So there are gonna be some kiddos where you feel like you're on top of it, you have a game plan, you know exactly what to do. And then there's gonna be other kids and you're gonna be like, I have no idea what to do with this kid. Don't worry, don't beat yourself up about it. You are still a qualified OT. You are still where you're supposed to be. Just take a deep breath, do what you gotta do, remember and do what you have learned, and anything that you don't know, guess what? You can go ahead and do some more research. You can rely on some fellow classmates, or even you may even contact your old professors if that's something that you want to feel comfortable doing. And guess what? We also live in a world where we have the internet at our access, which leads me to the second thing that they don't teach you in OT school, especially if you want to become a peds OT, and that is majority of what you're actually going to learn is when you get out into the real world. A lot of things that you are going to learn when you are working in the pediatric field is gonna come from a lot of actual hands-on experience. It's going to come from those continuing education classes. It's going to come from your successes. It's going to come a lot from your failures. So a lot of what you learn is just gonna be on the job training. Like for any other job, if you were to go and apply, you go through orientation and you're like, I kind of get what I'm doing, but I kind of don't. But it's not until you actually start doing the job that you get a better grip on the job. It's the same thing as OT, right? We assume that because we went to grad school and we did all this clinical work that we should know everything right away. And that's just absolutely nonsense. This is a field that you continue to learn, you continue to grow, no matter how new you are, no matter how long you've been in OT. It's something that you will continue to learn from and grow from and gain knowledge from as the years go on. The third thing that they don't teach you in OT school about becoming a pediatric OT is that pediatric OT is so broad. You can actually specialize even more in the realm of pediatrics, right? So there are some OTs out there who work with children who specifically have neural challenges. There are some pediatric OTs that specifically work with children that have physical impairments, such as cerebral palsy. There are some clinics out there that are specifically for children with autism. There are others that are specifically for kids with sensory processing challenges, or feeding challenges, or handwriting challenges. So although being a pediatric OT allows you to work with clients with all of those different deficits, you can, if you really want to, just focus on one thing that you have a lot of passion about and a lot of interest in. By all means, you are welcome to focus on that one particular little niche. However, I will put it out there and recommend, if you are a new grad, I recommend you get as broad of an experience as possible. Work with as many different kiddos, work with a wide range of ages, work in a wide range of settings. And then from there, after you've gained tons of experience with tons of different kiddos of different age groups and all of that. Then from there, you can kind of narrow it down and really pick out what you really, really like. The fourth thing that they don't teach you in OT school about becoming a pediatric OT is that not every session that you plan is going to be perfect. I know in OT school, we spend a lot of time working on treatment plans and interventions and mapping out all the materials that we're going to need, mapping out exactly what we're addressing that session, mapping out our notes and how we're going to document all of that. So when you're out into the real world, you may have that same mindset, like, okay, the night before, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to write everything down, I'm going to plan out a perfect treatment plan. We're going to do A, B, C, and D in this session. We have 60 minutes, and the first 15 minutes are going to look like this, and the last 15 minutes are going to look like that. And I just want to let you know, sometimes, majority of the time, a lot of the time, what you have planned will not come to pass. And that's because you're working with kids. They're not adults, right? So you never know how a kid is going to respond on that day. The fun thing about working with kids is no day is ever the same, right? So when you're working with children, you have to kind of be flexible. You can have a broad idea in your mind of things you want to address and things you want to work on, but you also have to be very flexible. Sometimes it depends on the child's sleeping, how have they been eating. Sometimes it just depends on their mood that day. Sometimes it depends on family dynamics. There's a lot that goes into working with children. So just be prepared that sometimes your sessions are going to be a complete wash. The fifth thing that they don't teach you in OT school, especially if you're a peds OT, is that burnout is a real thing. So they never even talked about burnout when I was in OT school. And I know that was 100 years ago, maybe they do now, but when I was in grad school, they never touched on it. But I want to let you know that burnout is a real thing. So if I were you, I would just have a plan and a strategy for when that occurs, because it's inevitable. You know, we work in a field that is not only healthcare, but we're working in healthcare with pediatrics. They are a very sensitive population to work with to begin with, right? And we have so much that we carry on our plates when working with these children, because we're not only working with the children, you're also working with the family and the parents and the caregivers and whoever else is involved in this child's life. And sometimes it can be a lot that you're carrying on your plate and working with these children. So sometimes burnout may happen where you just may wake up one day and you just may be like, you know what, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. Why am I here? What is my purpose? I don't want to do this anymore. However, that is just pretty much a sign of burnout. It's a sign that you need to have some strategies in place to kind of get yourself mentally reset before you can truly focus and get back out there with your full energy and your full potential. So some things that I have done to kind of help with burnout is I make sure that I do not take work home with me at the end of the day. Or I will say when I worked for corporate, at the end of the day, I would be done. Whatever I did not finish that day, I would not take it home with me, because you are already working for hours on end with these children, with families and your coworkers. A lot of the time, you're going to be spending more time at work than more time with your own family. So I made it a rule that I would do my best, get as many notes done, get as much documentation done. But at the end of the day, when I'm done, I'm done. And when I go home, I'm going home. I'm going home to relax, have a nice dinner, have a glass of wine, watch a favorite movie, do something that you really enjoy. And don't forget about you, right? You have hobbies, you have other interests outside of pediatric occupational therapy. So don't forget about your other things in life that really make you who you are. The sixth thing that they don't teach you in OT school, and I really wish they would have taught me this in OT school, especially when becoming a pediatric OT, is that there is so much value in working and learning about other disciplines. As a pediatric OT, I have worked and collaborated with so many other professionals. I have collaborated and worked with speech therapists, physical therapists, behavioral therapists, developmental therapists, developmental pediatricians, neurologists, teachers, daycare providers, babysitters, nannies, like the list goes on. When I was in OT school, we only talked about OT and nothing else and nobody else. Maybe PT was mentioned here and there, but for the most part, we were so OT focused. But when I got into the real world, I learned about the value of collaboration and being able to work with a whole team and having a whole team approach, because that really makes a difference in the child's progress overall. So definitely just keep in mind that there is value in working with other professionals out there. And last but not least, the seventh thing that they don't teach you in OT school is that you can actually use OT to start your own business. When I was in OT school, we only talked about settings that you can work in as an employee. We talked about, oh yeah, you can work at a hospital or a school or what have you. But we never sat down and had a conversation about how you as an OT can actually become an entrepreneur. You can start your own therapy practice. You can start your own digital resource library. You can sell digital products online. You can develop your own products as an OT. You can become a mentor. You can become a coach. I mean, the list is endless. There are so many possibilities that if you have that entrepreneur spirit in you, then you definitely can still be an OT, but still have your own business. So guys, I hope you found this video very valuable and very helpful, because even though these are things that I didn't learn specifically in OT school, maybe some of them you are learning. Things have changed, times have changed, but just in case they don't teach you these things and they're not teaching you these things, I am happy to teach you these things about becoming a pediatric OT. So if you found this video helpful, make sure you share it. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so that you will be the first to know when I put out new content. And make sure to follow me on all my social platforms. I am Ash the OT on YouTube, on Instagram, as well as Facebook. I look forward to talking with you all soon. And if any of these register to you, or if you have any other questions about becoming a pediatric OT, please leave them in the comments below. All right, guys, till next time, bye.